What are some things that the survivor community can help you with? Like before we finish up today, what are some calls to action that you might be asking for in your public space?
This is hard to say, right? The survivor community is disgusting. The people that have been in this community for a really long time have figured out ways to monetize this. So they are not helpful. There are basically organizations that I'm not going to name because I don't want you to get hated on, but there are people amongst us that basically like a survivor died a couple days ago, and I am pretty fucking sure that I'm waiting for this one organization to start getting her parents to be giving funds to this one organization amongst us. You
Well,
know,
those kind of like other pockets of activism aside, I mean, you're working with the survivor community to make the documentary, aren't
no,
you?
I'm not. I'm actually really not because the survivor community is toxic as fuck. It's really disgusting. It's pretty much what you said. The people are very attacking each other and they feel like they're right because it's in the name
Yeah,
of
there's
activism.
definitely a lot of infighting.
So yeah, so I'm just trying to do my own thing. I'm not involved in any organizations or anything. I'm not
No, I
involved in like
think I'm kind of like not wording what I'm trying to say in the right way. So you're interviewing survivors for this documentary. I mean, kind of like not the survivor community as in one entity or one organization. I mean, kind of as a whole. You know, like on the Troubled Teen subreddit, there's a lot of people that are doing really good work. There's a lot of people involved in lawsuits and closing down schools on the legal side of things that are not involved in any of these organizations or charities or kind of NGOs or anything like that. If there were some, for example, like if Michael Balaban was listening, or if there were some survivors of CEDU or related programs, or even staff members listening, and they might be able to get involved and help in some way, what would there be anything you would like to say to those people?
yes, that
Not the survivor
yeah, yeah,
community as
yeah.
in the
No, to
infighting and the
like
difficult.
I'm out there. I'm findable. You can easily find me. I've had the same number my entire life. You know,
Me
uh,
too.
yeah, I've had this. I have an AOL email. You know what I mean? So my email is buntown at AOL.com. It's my last name, town. This is gonna take a lot of information to solve this problem. I would like to talk to specifically people that went to Rudy Bent's sister schools. Rudy Bent's was a staff who left right when I got there. I was there for maybe 2 weeks with him, and he left, and I think he started Swift River Academy. I don't, he started a couple of schools. I want to talk, I want to talk about the roots of the teen industry, like the people that were there, like when it was just starting, and I still haven't really talked to very many people from the Seed. I still haven't talked to very many people from like Straight Inc. or The Family. I haven't really talked to, but I have talked to a lot of people from Tranquility Bay, Academy at Ivy Ridge, Casa by the Sea, Cross Creek, Spring Creek Lodge, all the CEDU schools. I still would really like to talk to people from Hyde. I know that Hyde, because it is still active, that it is kind of the scariest one. Yeah, I would like to talk to as many people as I can, but especially I would like to talk to people working in this industry today. If you just left a job, or if you are working anywhere in this industry, I'm an adult. I'm not going to attack you or try to call you out for anything. This is a very tricky issue, and we cannot be children just assuming that everybody that works at a facility for troubled teens does not mean that it's a culty troubled teen industry school, because it's starting to come around that because the program's just still been sitting on Netflix for a year, that other people are waking up to this. Like the real world is like, oh shit, is this me? Is this my school? Wait a minute, it's not my school, but what can I do to help? And that's the best. I can find survivors all over Facebook, but it's the people that might be afraid that I want to find. I want to talk if you work at a school, or if you did work at a school, please talk to me. Tell me what you saw. It's not, that you could totally be, confidential. I don't write shit down when I talk to people because I don't want people to hear a pen scratch when, like them thinking that like I'm going to come back and use something against them because this stuff is so sensitive. So, I understand that, confidentiality is a really, really big thing. I wouldn't, I am not going to get sued when this comes out. That's the whole goal. I don't want to get sued when this shit comes out. So I'm going to make sure that like everything is handled as well as it can be when it comes out. Like, I don't want anyone to be like, I don't like the way I was seen. I don't like, what I said or whatever. I don't want any of that, but I also don't want people to feel left out. I want this documentary to be something that if you are aware that all these come out and you feel like you want to be seen, please contact me. Because one of the things that I really want to do is I want to have over 100 survivors in the same place and ask them yes or no questions. Like, were you only acting out because you were suffering an abuse at home? Are you autistic? Do you have ADHD? Are you bipolar? Did you witness homophobia? Did you witness transphobia? Did you witness, sexual assault? Did you experience sexual assault? There's all these different levels.
Send out a survey to the survivor community and ask them to write down the name of the program they were in and the answers to the
right, because
it's really interesting.
What's fascinating though is that like the things that I didn't think other schools would have in common. Like I wrote, do you have a summit statement? Example, my summit statement was, I am courageous and responsible. And all these people from like Cross Creek were like, I have a summit statement. And they told me what it was. And they're like, I didn't even remember that. You know what I mean? And we thought that these schools had nothing in common like that. So that there are things that are in common. And it's the weird shit that they made us say or do to each other. Or like,